Hallo og velkommen. Jeg heter Andy, og denne YouTube-kanalen min. I denne videoen vil jeg snakke om planen min om å lære norsk i år. Jeg studerer norsk fordi jeg interesserer meg for Norge, jeg har norske venner, og jeg liker universell helsetjenester. Også, dette min rundingsplan for Amerika. How do you like that cold intro in Norwegian? I had to look up a few words like universal healthcare and escape plan, but I really impressed myself with my progress so far. So, in the Lord's year of 2021, I intend to reach at least basic conversational fluency in Norwegian. Here's how. But first, why Norwegian? Let's start with why not. Well, first, Norway is not very big population-wise. Nobody, except Norwegian immigrants, speaks Norwegian outside of Norway. On top of that, most people in Norway are also fluent in English. In short, unless you are gonna live in Norway, live with Norwegian people, or are a language nerd like me, learning Norwegian is pretty useless for your average person. So why am I going through the effort to learn it? Well, I just kinda want to. I first got exposed to the Norwegian language when I made friends with a Norwegian international student who I was taking men's choir with. He and I actually became friends pretty quickly. We hung out a bunch after class, and he was super cool. So one day I was like, what if I taught myself some Norwegian to impress my cool new friend? And that's when I started trying out Norwegian Duolingo, and I totally did not keep with it. It's a very good thing I never told him I was trying to learn Norwegian, because that would have been very embarrassing with the statement and then no follow through. But since then, I've done more research into the language, and I've found out a bunch of things that really pique my interest about it. One, it's one of the easiest languages for an English speaker to learn. I don't remember all of the details on that, but between really logical grammar, clear pronunciation rules, and a ton of similarities between English and Norwegian, such as cognates, linguistic origins, etc., that alone got my F it, why not going. I'm not saying that learning any language is an easy thing, but hypothetically, it will take fewer hours for an English speaker to learn Norwegian compared to something like even Spanish. With effective study, of course. Number 2, Norwegian fluency is one of the requirements for becoming a Norwegian citizen. I'm not saying that's a goal of mine, but it'll give me options if I'm trying to escape the United States. 3, the country is pretty and the healthcare is free. So is the education. 4, only a small percentage of my viewers are subscribed, so be sure to hit that subscribe button and the bell icon to the side, and of course leave a like on this video. That's not a reason, I just wanted to throw it in there because I'm bad at segues about that. It really all comes down to this though. Those extra factors, those are things that helped justify why I'm interested in learning Norwegian, but I just want to learn Norwegian. I've wanted to learn it for a long time since my first attempt, but now I am actually going to take a serious effort to do so. I've actually already been taking a serious effort to do so. So here is the breakdown of my plan to learn Norwegian in the Lord's year of 2021. Step 1. We're using Duolingo for the foundation. While many people don't recommend Duolingo as a source for learning a language, and I agree that the quality of the courses really does vary based off of which language you're learning, I love Duolingo and I have a 500-day streak that I gotta keep going. But in all fairness, from what I've read, the Norwegian language tree on Duolingo is one of the best on the platform. This is what I've been using to learn so far, and I've honestly developed a lot of confidence with trying out making my own sentences, communicating, listening, etc. with the limited scope I can. And one of my New Year's resolutions is to max out the Norwegian tree on Duolingo. 5 stars on every skill, or was it five crowns? Whatever the thing is, 5 crowns on every skill, and get that max 100% credit. First off, Duolingo isn't actually just repetition and translation stuff. Most of the languages on it actually have textbook style lessons about each skill that you're learning. They include explanations, cultural facts, vocabulary lists, etc. Most people never look at these and don't even know they exist, but reading through them as you're going through your lessons, and possibly clipping all of them to like an Evernote notebook, these are crucial for actually making the most of these free, let me remind you, free resources. The next concern is, how do I pace myself to get 5 crowns on every single Duolingo skill on the Norwegian language tree without burning out? Isn't that a lot to do by the end of the year? My answer is, I did the math. I'll go into the details later, but I pretty much realized I only need to level up 2 skills per day to reach that goal of maxing out the tree by the end of the year. And that's only a 15 to 30 minute time commitment per day. So it really won't be overloading me with excess knowledge all at once either. So I've been doing that since January 1st. I've actually done an entire month of Duolingo daily so far, and I remain on pace. So here's the math breakdown. As of me writing the script for this video, I had 126 remaining skills times 5 levels per skill, divided by 334 days remaining in the year as of January 31st. That number comes out to 1.916 skills per day to level up. I'm rounding that to 2, and that means I'll either be done 14 days early, or I can take 14 days off throughout the year. I'm gonna aim to do it 14 days early, but I'm glad to know that I have up to 14 days off, just like an American company. But yeah, I've done a month with no break so far, but I know that I probably will need at least a couple days off eventually. I think Duolingo is a great resource, but it's definitely not the only tool you should be using when you learn a language. So step 2, I'm gonna use step 2, books. See that, beginner's Norwegian? Norwegian, damn bitch. I have a beginner Norwegian textbook, but I might not even need it depending on how detailed Duolingo's written out lessons are. I could probably get away with just using that as my textbook. I definitely prefer absorbing a language and through trial and error passively learning to understand the grammar rules rather than learning the grammar rules, because that's not how you learn your first language. But I also recognize the importance of learning concrete rules to your grammar, to your language, to all that. Books also have a lot of additional perspectives, such as cultural tips, and that stuff has really helped me with Japanese. I learned Japanese through textbooks and college courses, so I definitely should at least see what the value is for that in Norwegian. On top of that, I may purchase additional textbooks based off of step 3, hiring an italki tutor. Italki is a language exchange website where you can hire a one-on-one professional teacher or community tutor to help you learn a language. I've been doing weekly conversation practice lessons with a tutor to keep my Japanese up because I lost so much of that since quarantine began, and I'm definitely seeing the value of having someone who is a native speaker to just talk in the language with. With Norwegian, I'll probably actually be wanting to get a professional teacher with a curriculum, but I'm holding off on the hiring of a tutor until I have a stronger foundation with the language. I will definitely get more value per lesson if I'm not starting from close to 0. I'm definitely nowhere close to 0 at this point, but a higher baseline of my own skill will mean I have a lot more to work with my teacher. So this will be something I consider maybe in late February or March, but not right away. The fourth and final step is immersion. I can definitely start doing immersion activities earlier. I just gotta consume Norwegian media, like watch shows, listen to podcasts, watch Norwegian YouTubers, stuff like that. But as I get better in the language, I should really attempt to push myself by doing things like reading in Norwegian, like Norwegian articles, Norwegian books, Norwegian blog posts, stuff like that. And maybe, when the pandemic is over, immerse myself all the way and go to Norway myself. That would be cool and expensive, but I really want to go to Norway at some point. That would be awesome. You get the idea. More frequent exposure to the language, whether that's passive or active, in the coming days, weeks, and months that I'm working on learning it. So that's the plan! 2 Duolingos a day, and slowly introduce more stuff from there. I think every so often I'll make a progress video or videos about fun, interesting things I learn about Norway or weird, interesting things I learn about the Norwegian language. And I'll try to share my journey with y'all as I go. I've enjoyed the journey I've had thus far, but it's entirely been to myself. I've already kept pace on this journey to learn Norwegian for a month, and I'm excited to see where I go over the coming year. Thanks again for watching, wish me luck, subscribe for more, and comment what you're working towards this year. And remember to smash a 500-day Duolingo streak with that like button. See you next time. Bye.